runs the set like so chill. He's, you know, he's not demonstrative. He's just kind of laid back. A lot of the time he was barefoot, which kind of blew my mind. You are a hobbit.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, but in total control. And the thing about Peter that was so amazing to me was, you know, a lot of directors are really stuck on their idea. There's no spontaneity, let's say. But with Peter, if he saw something, he trusted his instincts, even if it was just kind of in the back of his head. Perfect example is the butt cushion. The butt cushion's not in the script. We did the interrogation scene, and you know, we kind of shot it once, and then Peter said, you know, when you sit down, you know, maybe you get right back up. And I remember thinking, well, okay, but why would I get back up? So I played it like I had hemorrhoids. You know, like, maybe that's a bad idea. You know, and I get back up, and he just like went with that, and I told the prop guys, get me a, you know, get me a butt cushion. And they brought him back, and they said that's too big. That's too big. That's not going to fit in his thing. And so they went away, and they finally came back with, of all things, a wheelbarrow inner tube. And they painted orange. Perfect. You know what it is. But I mean, that's just kind of the thing. He's just going with it. You know, let's do that. I mean, here he's got millions of dollars on his back, and he's going, hey, I have an idea. It's just amazing.
Well, stepping back a little bit, how did you end up in the film? Was he a Re-Animator fan? Like, did he reach out to you?
Oh, hell. No, it goes sort of like this. My agent at the time told me that, you know, he had pitched me for this gig. And they said, no, he's too young. That's not the case anymore, but they said, he's too young for this. And so they looked for a long time, and Peter wasn't finding what he wanted. So almost begrudgingly, they kind of said, yeah, okay, bring him in, because they were kind of down to it. And lucky for me, here's the really, really important thing. And if there's any casting directors in here, I want you to hear this. My audition piece was the interrogation scene, and I had that material for a fucking week. So when I went in there, I was prepared. These days, any actors in here, you know, you get a call at about 6:45, and they want you there tomorrow morning at 10:30, and there's 8 pages of shit. And there's no way you can make it yours that way. It's really brutal, cruel.
Well, talking about making it yours, the interrogation scene is a perfect example, but so is your first scene. It's almost like a ballet, the way you're moving around. It's all so specific, and the hand gestures. How much of that, like, how did you work with Jackson to come up with the whole routine?
Well, we were really collaborative, but my memory of it was that we shot some stuff, and then we went to lunch, and he said to me, you know, Jeff, if you want to, you can stay in here, and you can, you know, figure out what you want to do. That's exactly what I did. So I didn't really have lunch. I just kind of, because you know the lines, but you don't have the space. And so I just kind of did, sort of. I mean, Michael J. Fox, bless him, isn't he great in this movie? Yeah, it's one of the best things he's basically in one spot, so I have to keep it visually interesting. So I kind of choreographed it out, and that's pretty much what we did.
And I'm not just saying this because you're sitting here. When this came out, I would say my top 5 favorite actors at the time were included Michael J. Fox and you. I was very excited you were in this movie. Especially, I was also very excited when I heard Bruce Campbell was going to be in Congo, and then he dies in the first fucking scene, and that movie is, if you've seen Congo, you know what I'm talking about. This movie, it was fabulous. The whole thing, even when you die, you come back. It was perfect.
And that was changed. In the original script, and they actually created the whole gag and everything, because I have it at home. I came and knocked on the door much earlier in the script. I came to the haunted house and knocked on the door, and I held up my hand with my badge in it, and she locked my arm off. That was the original death of Dammert, and Peter changed that. So I have the prop of, an arm with where little indentations in the fingers. At home I have it. Sometimes I would put out on my lawn for Halloween, by a grave. It looks like a hand coming in. But no, I still have the prop that was never used. So that's another thing. Peter's changed. Just, no. We'll have him around a lot longer, which I was really happy about.
And what was your familiarity with him prior to the movie?
With
Peter Jackson?
Peter?
Even just having seen his movie.
Well, I think I had just seen, I sort of knew of him, but vaguely. And then when I got the audition, went down to like whatever video store was around in those days. It was like pre-Blockbuster, and I rented Dead Alive. Or Brain Dead, as it's known in the rest of the world, other than America. And Meet the Feebles. So I went, wow, this guy is brilliant. This is insane. He's gifted. And then, and then even before I went in for the audition, I think the Oscars, Heavenly Creatures was out, and he and Fran were nominated for Best Screenplay for that. And so I knew of Peter, but I didn't know him, not at all. But I was certainly stoked to meet him and audition for him. Just audition for him was really kind of, and that was weird. I did everything wrong. I did everything wrong in my audition, and he went, yeah, no, don't do that. Try these and do these, and I did that, and got the gig.
And so what was it, I mentioned to Jeff before the movie that director I'm working with currently is from Wellington, where the movie was shot.
I love Wellington.
Very excited to find out we were screening this. But what was it like going there? Because this was, I think Sam Raimi had started doing the Hercules and Xena stuff down there. Like, how
was that before or after?
I don't know. I guess that's kind of why I asked you. What was it like? Because it was a pretty huge production, but I imagine it must have felt different there, where Jackson was kind of building up this film community by himself.
Oh yeah, I was totally. It was completely raw. I mean, there was no. I think it was before Raimi had gone there to do it, because there was like no other productions that I knew of that was going on. And Peter's, Ouida, his special effects people, they were just people that worked for Peter. And of course, he'd done a few more movies, and he had, he's the most loyal person to his crews. Universal wanted him to shoot it in America. Wanted him to shoot, almost demanded that he shoot it in America. And Peter went out of his way, went out and shot footage to show them that he could make New Zealand look like someplace in America. And they finally went, yeah, okay. And he did that because he wanted to work with his crew. he knew that if he got out of his artistic zone and he went somewhere else, that something would be lost. And just the loyalty to the people that got him where he was. He just wanted to take them along. And I think he was right.
Did you keep your My Body as a Roadmap of Pain torso?
No, I'll tell you something about my body's roadmap of pain. I'll tell you something about that. I have never had this experience on any other movie or television show that I've ever done. The Weta people, Richard Taylor, and those guys came to me and said, hello, Chief. They called me Jiff. Jiff. I wanted to say, that's fucking peanut butter, okay? But, what am I going to do? So they said, this is our design for what we're going to put on your chest. Ready? What do you think? Not, this is what we're going to put on you, but we're in design mode and we want you to collaborate with us on it. This never happens, and I knew I was in really rare company there. The only thing I had them add was an unfinished game of tic-tac-toe. They like that.
Those Kiwis are so polite.
Oh, they're so much.
Well, we still got another movie to show, so why don't we segue into Re-Animator and bring up Mr. Brian Yuzna. Brian Yuzna, producer of Re-Animator and director of the 2 Re-Animator sequels.
Yes. Which I believe Beyond Re-Animator is coming out on Blu-ray here soon, isn't it?
I should. We've had Brian in many times. I think you were actually our 3rd or 4th show we ever did. We showed Society. Has everyone seen Society? One of the goofiest movies ever made.
I just want to say something about Frighteners.
Okay.
Which I saw a couple times when it first came out. And I don't know if you mentioned this, but I first saw it at Comic-Con. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, it was the absolute first movie that they ever showed at Comic-Con.
It's true. And it was in a theater downtown San Diego.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was the beginning of the end of the comic part of Comic-Con.
You're welcome.
Well, so now stepping back to the beginning of Jeff's career, Brian, can you talk a little bit about when Re-Animator was getting put together and, even what kind of person you guys were looking for Herbert West and what it was like when you set your eyes on this fabulous maniac?
Well, Stuart Gordon and Dennis Paoli tend to give William Norris the credit for kind of forming the character in the script. I know that there was never any question that Jeffrey would be the guy. But what I want to know is I want to know how Anthony Barneo contacted you and how you came into it.
Okay. Anthony Barneo was the casting director for Empire Pictures, Charlie Band, even though Re-Animator is not an Empire Pictures production, he was the distributor for the movie. But anyway, there was some help there, casting and later editing and all this stuff. So here's what happened. This is the thinnest of things that happen that make all the difference in the world. I was doing a play on Melrose at the Zephyr Theater, and somehow, somebody invited Anthony Barneo. I don't think I did it. I didn't invite Anthony Barneo to come and see it. I didn't even think of that. But he came and saw this play that I was in, and I knew him because I'd auditioned for him a couple of times, and I remember standing outside the theater after the show, and he said, I'm casting something that I think you might be right for, so I'll be giving your agent a call. And I went, oh, okay, well, maybe something, and that's how it happened. That's how it happened.
And did you read the script before you came in, or did you just look at the signs?
Well, I don't remember, this is pre-internet, okay? This is 1984, and
So they may have only given you the
sides, and you had to drive over and get them, and drive back home and look at them for a couple of days, and then go back to the, it's a different time.
Do you remember what scene it was?
Yeah, sure. It was the basement scene was my callback with you. Basement scene was the callback. You paired me up with the great David Gale, and we both auditioned for you for callbacks, and we both got the gig. But the first time, I don't think it was that scene. Maybe it was. But I remember Stuart Gordon. Let's hear it for Stuart Gordon. I remember Stuart saying to me, this is based on H.P. Lovecraft. And I went, oh, yeah. No idea who H.P. Lovecraft. Awesome. Amazing. So anyway, that's sort of, finish the things. If he hadn't come to that play, I wouldn't be here.
Well, when somebody tells you, I've got the perfect part for you, and then you
say I
read
got the perfect part, so I got something you may be right for, which is really ambiguous, so.
I was just wondering what it's like to find out you're perfect for Herbert.
The perfect part is when they're going to pay you less than you're worth.
Yeah, and it's perfect. Yeah, well, you did that, so that's, I'm kidding. I'm not, no, listen, this
And
was,
it still wasn't the perfect part for you.
yeah, well, I'm pretty well pleased with Re-Animator, and it's the gift that keeps on giving, as far as I'm concerned. That movie, like one of my reanimated zombies, it will not die. We don't want it to. So, it was an amazing journey. We shot Re-Animator in 18 days.
16.
16
days of pickup.
Right.
We didn't shoot the opening.
Yeah,
when
we cut it.
We cut it for because we didn't have the time.
You ran out of time.
Then we came back, shot the opening, and shot your hand going down the smoke.
Amazing.
We had to do some of the effects again.
So it's just one of those magic things where everything was totally, absolutely right on Re-Animator. Editing, casting, music, directing, producing.
And tell me this, how when did you first kind of get how you were going to work with Dan Payne, with Bruce Abbott?
What do you mean?
Now, when you first met him, how did you guys work out kind of how you were going to do the give and take?
Well, here's the thing about Bruce. He's the unsung hero to me in Re-Animator. He never gets the credit, It's kind of like a rock band. Yes, come on. It's like a rock band, and I'm like, Jimmy Page, and he's just playing rhythm. Well, but I got to float on a line, so I need the rhythm. He needs a great rhythm section. Bruce and I are both West Coast actors. We had a lot of friends in common, even though we had never met. This is another happy accident. So we were really kind of in sync already in terms of we were comfortable with each other, and we sort of just instinctually understood how this is going. And the script is so bloody that Bruce and I just went, okay, look, we've got to find some humor wherever we can, without it being, obvious, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. We've got to find some release from this gauntlet of gore. And I think we achieved a little bit of that. So yeah, I couldn't have had a better mate to play off of and with. I'm here to tell you, He's still a great good friend of mine.
And how has it been, like, kind of at what point did you become aware that Herbert West was becoming this horror icon? Because I know the movie obviously didn't reach, like, Freddy Krueger levels, but I dressed as Herbert West for Halloween last year, and pretty much everyone knew
who you were.
Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, are you like a doctor or something? Right, you have that glowing syringe. And that kind of...
I don't know, it wasn't like explosion and oh my God, where it's just the gradual, I mean, of course, you know, when it first came out, it had mixed reviews. That's my memory. Siskel and Ebert was one thumb up and one thumb down. And then I knew we had something when 6 months later, Siskel and Ebert said, hey,